Is your dryer not heating? Well, I'm Dustin with Parts Doctor, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to test and replace the heating element from a Whirlpool style dryer. This also applies to some other great manufacturer brands such as Maytag, Amana, and more. It's super simple. I'll show you step by step, so let's jump right in. In this video, we'll show you how to test and replace the heating element. The heating element assembly generates the heat needed to dry clothes by warming air as it passes through the heater housing into the drum. Over time, the heating element can burn out, break, or short against the heater housing. When this happens, the dryer may heat when not running, not heat at all, may heat intermittently, or may trip safety devices due to overheating. If the heating element fails, you may notice long dry times, no heat, or the dryer running but not drying clothes. Replacing a faulty heating element restores proper heat output and allows the dryer to operate as intended. If you need to purchase a new heating element assembly for your dryer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com. We offer fast shipping and only sell manufacturer-approved genuine replacement parts for all major appliance brands. While some models allow access to the components for this repair by removing the back panel, on this model and most similar models we find it best to do this repair from the front, as it also allows you to inspect and service other common wear items like the belt and drum rollers. Tools needed for this repair: a 5/16 nut driver or socket, a 1/4-inch nut driver or socket, a needle nose pliers, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a multimeter if you plan on testing your heating element. Before working on any appliance, please remember to disconnect it from the power. Do not forget to disconnect the exhaust vent hose on the rear of the machine before moving the dryer. Some edges or components may be sharp, so the use of protective gloves is recommended. This repair involves removing several different screw types, which can vary depending on your model and its manufactured date. Your appliance may differ from the one shown in this video, so it may help to have a simple system to keep each fastener organized to ensure they go back in the correct location. On the back of the dryer, use a 5/16 driver or socket to remove the 2 screws holding the top panel in place. Slide the top panel back about 1/4 of an inch and then lift it off of the dryer. Set it aside to be reinstalled later. Inside the appliance, locate and trace the wires coming from the control panel to the control board. Disconnect the connector from the control board. Be careful as to not damage the wires or the control board itself. Using a pair of needle nose pliers, gently squeeze the push mount wire retainer and push down to remove it from the dryer's frame. Using a 1/4-inch driver or socket, remove the 2 screws towards the front of the dryer that hold the touchpad in place. Gently lift the touchpad and control panel as you rotate the top away from the dryer. Make sure to guide the wires through the front of the machine. Locate the mid-junction connector for the door switch inside the dryer and disconnect it by lifting up on the small tab. You may need to use a small flathead screwdriver to release the tab properly. Tilt the dryer back and place a support underneath to be able to access the bottom edge of the machine. In our case, we're using a 4x4 wood block. Remove the 4 screws on the bottom edge using a 1/4-inch driver or socket. Once the screws are removed, remove the support from underneath the dryer and carefully set the appliance back on the ground. Open the dryer's door and remove the 2 screws below the opening using a Phillips head screwdriver. Close the dryer's door. At the top of the front panel, remove the 3 screws holding the panel in place. Lift the front of the panel up and away from the dryer. Gently work the electrical connectors through the front of the machine as you remove the front panel. Carefully set the front panel aside for reinstallation later. Back at the control board inside of the dryer, disconnect the drum light from the ACU by depressing the retainer on the connector and pulling it to remove. You may find it's easier to use a needle nose pliers. At the front of the dryer, remove the 2 screws on the top of the control panel bracket and the 2 screws on the front of the control panel bracket. Lift the bracket from the appliance. Disconnect the wires to the moisture sensor by pressing the 2 retainers and pulling the wires apart. Using a 1/4-inch driver or socket, remove the screw towards the bottom of the dryer holding the air duct retainer clip in place. Rotate the clip towards the front of the dryer to remove it. Remove the 4 screws holding the front bulkhead in place. Lift the bulkhead up slightly until it becomes free from the retainers on the side panels of the dryer. Lift the bulkhead out from the machine and carefully set it aside. To access the dryer's drive belt, reach into the gap between the dryer's drum and the blower fan. Remove the belt from the idler pulley by moving the pulley to the side to release the tension on the belt. Be sure the belt is free and can be lifted out with the drum. Remove the dryer's drum by lifting it with the drive belt and carefully pulling it from the front of the machine. Be sure to keep one hand on the drum to keep it stable as you remove it. Set the drum aside to be inspected later. The heating element assembly is located in the heater box next to the high limit thermostat and thermistor and the high limit fuse. Before removing the element, test the element while it's still installed. To do that, disconnect the two connectors attached to the heating element. Taking Jesse from Michigan's repair advice, you may want to snap a photo of the wired connections before disassembly for reference later. These connectors should be firmly attached to the element, so they may be difficult to remove, but to prevent damaging the connectors, use your fingers to work them free. If you need to, use a needle nose pliers to gently remove them. Once the two connectors are disconnected from the high limit thermostat, set your multimeter to its continuity setting and hold a probe on each of the two male connectors on the side of the heating element. You should hear a beep from the multimeter if the coils are in good working order. Touch one lead of the multimeter to one of the connectors while also touching the heating element housing with the other lead. If there's continuity or a beep, this means that there is a short in your heating element and it should be replaced. Repeat this test on the other connector and the metal housing. If your multimeter does not have a continuity testing option, set it to the lowest ohm setting and test the two connectors on the heating element. You should see between 9 and 12 ohms on your multimeter. If you get a reading outside of these numbers, your heating element should probably be replaced. If the heating element does not have continuity or an ohms reading outside of the range, the heating element will need to be removed from the heater box. To remove the element, first use a 1/4-inch socket to remove the fastener holding the bracket to the bottom of the dryer cabinet. Next, remove the fastener holding the bracket to the heater box. Slide the bracket out of the heater box and set it aside. To remove the heating element from the heater box, remove the 1/4-inch hex head screw near the heating element connections. Slide the element out from the heater box. With the element removed, visually inspect the heating coils by gently moving the coils back and forth looking for breaks in the coil element. If the coils are broken, the heating element should be replaced. Another issue to look for is a damaged interior metal plate. When the internal plate gets too hot, it can warp or crack and that can cause the coils to touch the housing, causing a short. If this is the case, the heating element should be replaced. If your heating element has continuity and passes the visual inspection, the reason your dryer is not heating is probably another failed component such as the thermal fuse, thermistor control, high limit thermostat, or thermal cutoff fuse. Check out our channel for videos on testing and replacing those components. If you need to purchase a new heating element, be like Kenneth from South Carolina and avoid cheap aftermarket elements and get an OEM manufactured certified part like the ones that we sell on our website, partsdoctor.com. We'll leave a link in the description below. Search with the model number from the tag on your appliance to be sure that you get the correct part. Before installing your new heater element, inspect the inside of the heater box and remove any lint or debris. Once the heater box is clean, slide the new element into the heater box housing with the connections on the left side. Be sure the connections on the element are flush with the front of the heater box. Line up the screw hole on the side of the heater box and reinstall the 1/4-inch hex head screw. Reinstall the heater box bracket by sliding the tongue of the bracket into the heater box. Then align the small tab on the bottom of the bracket to the mounting hole in the base of the dryer cabinet and be sure that it locks into place. Reinstall the 1/4-inch fastener to secure the bracket to the bottom of the dryer cabinet. To reinstall the fastener to hold the heater box to the bracket, it helps to start the fastener by hand. Fully tighten both bracket fasteners. Reconnect the two wired connections. Reference the photo that you took earlier if you need to. Be sure that the connectors are tight and fully connected. If the wires do not connect securely, the wires could heat up and eventually fail. If either wire is discolored or shows signs of becoming hot, it should be replaced. We'll link to a video on how to do that below. With the appliance taken apart, now is a good time to inspect other important parts. Make sure the idler pulley is free of hair, lint, or other debris and spins freely. Also check the drum rollers to be sure that they're free of any damage or debris and also spin freely. To inspect the drum of the dryer, make sure to clean the grooves on each side of the drum. The grooves rest on the roller wheels, and any debris or buildup on these grooves can cause the roller wheels to wear out more quickly and cause the dryer to make excessive noise. You may need a tool to help remove some of this debris. Do not use a hard or metal object that can scratch or damage the drum's smooth finish. And last, check the belt to be sure that it's in good condition and not cracked or frayed. If any of these parts are damaged or need to be replaced, you can check out our dryer maintenance kit video that shows you how to replace each of these components. Now is also a good time to clean the dryer of any lint or debris. It is important to keep the dryer free from lint buildup, as lint is highly flammable and could potentially cause a fire. To reinstall the dryer's drum, position it so the side with the larger lip is closer to the back of the machine. Lift up on the drum using the drive belt while keeping a hand on the front of the drum in order to keep it stable. Carefully position the drum into the dryer by setting it on the back rollers. Align the drive belt in the center of the drum groove closest to the rear of the appliance. Carefully spin the drum one full rotation to be sure that the felt seal has not folded in on itself. At the front of the machine, reach through the gap between the dryer drum and the blower housing to access the drive belt and idler pulley. Grab the belt and make sure that it's positioned between the idler pulley and the back panel of the dryer. Route the belt around the motor pulley, then reach through with your other hand to lift the idler pulley towards the motor. Slide the belt over the roller onto the groove of the idler pulley. Confirm that the belt is seated correctly on the pulley system and that it is not twisted. Slowly rotate the drum one full rotation to verify that the belt is properly installed. Please only rotate the drum clockwise. Turning it counterclockwise can cause the belt to slip off the idler or motor pulleys. Align the bulkhead to the front of the dryer and insert the heat shield between the drum and the dryer lint duct. Make sure that the drum is sitting on the two rollers on the inside of the bulkhead. Set the bulkhead onto the tabs of the side panels to hold it in place. Make sure the sides of the bulkhead rest inside the dryer's frame. Make sure the wires connected to the bulkhead lay over the top so they can be properly reinstalled to the control board. Reinstall the 4 screws that lock the bulkhead into place. Spin the drum clockwise once more to ensure that the drum is sitting properly on the front rollers and that the front felt seal is not folded over. Reconnect the moisture sensor and make sure that the tabs on either side of the connector are locked into place. Towards the bottom of the dryer, hook the air duct clip through the housing and rotate down so that the bottom of the clip rests on the dryer's frame. Reinstall the screw to hold the air duct clip into place. To reinstall the control panel bracket, align the retainers on the bracket with the slots on the side panels of the dryer. Insert the retainers into these slots and push down slightly. Reinstall the 2 screws in the front and the 2 screws on the top so that the bracket is locked into place. Align the front panel with the bulkhead and feed the door switch connector through the front of the machine. Lift the front panel up and set it on the retaining tabs. The screw holes on the front panel should be aligned with the holes in the control panel bracket. Reinstall the 3/4-inch screws that hold the front panel into place. Open the dryer's door and reinstall the 2 Phillips head screws directly below the dryer's opening and close the door. Once again, tilt the machine back and prop it up on a support. Reinstall the 4 screws at the bottom of the front panel. You may need to push up slightly on the front panel to get it to align properly. Remove the support and carefully set the dryer back down on the floor. To reinstall the control panel, guide the electrical connector through the hole in the front of the control panel bracket. Align the tab at the bottom of the control panel with the slot on the front of the dryer. Gently slide the panel into place. This may take some time and some finagling to get the panel fully into place. Reinstall the 2/4-inch screws. At the top of the machine, reinsert the push mount cable tie on the control panel's wired into its designated spot on the dryer's frame. Then, reconnect the electrical connector to the ACU. Be sure the connector is securely in place and will not come loose from the control board. Locate and reconnect the mid-junction connector for the door switch. Find the wire to the drum light and reconnect it to the ACU, making sure that it is securely locked into place. To reinstall the top panel, align it with the top of the dryer about a 1/4 inch offset from the control panel and slide it forward. Reinstall the 2 screws at the back of the dryer to secure the top panel into place. Reconnect the dryer's exhaust and power and run the dryer to make sure everything is working properly. Your dryer is now ready to use. Alright, that'll do it for this repair. As always, I'm Dustin with Parts Doctor. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.